One of the most important things with any shop management program or pricing program is your pricing matrices. And with ShopCal, you can have as many of the pricing matrices that you want. You can set up one for retail, one for wholesale, or any variety of different reasons and structures that you may need for particular pricing. Uh, this is one of the nice aspects of ShopCal and the amount of flexibility that it gives you in your ability to price. The main things when you come into the pricing matrix when you're setting it up is each matrix will have a name, and this is a name that you give it. It doesn't really care. Um, the uh, only requirement is that each matrix has a unique name. They cannot be named the same thing. Once you have your matrix set up as far as a name, it'll initially come out where these are blank. Now you'll have some example ones that come with ShopCal for you to get an idea from. You can even use them if you want. Uh, I have no guarantee that the pricing is correct for your area, but it should give you a guideline to go by. A couple of the key requirements that need when you're building a pricing matrix is it needs a little bit of basic information to start building them. You could naturally just come in here and start putting in pricing across and key in all this in manual if you want. If you have an existing pricing matrix, you can just go ahead and start manually keying it in if you want. But ShopCal, if you're going to have it build your matrix, it's going to need a minimum of information. And the first thing that you need to do is develop your price break numbers. And to insert them in here, you can have up to 14 price breaks. You always want to start with the first one being 1. Even if you have a minimum of a dozen or 2 dozen, it doesn't make a difference. Always start the first one with 1. The second one will be your next price break. This example right here, the first price break line will take care of any quantity of garments from 1 to 11. So it's going to take care of whatever number's here to 1 less than the number in the price break that's after it. And you want to go ahead and just fill in your price breaks down. It can be any quantity break you want. Doesn't make a difference. The second amount of information that ShopCal needs is the amount of that you are going to charge for a 1 color print for that price break. In this example here, we have $3 out of quantity 1. We have $1.49 out of quantity 12. We're going to just continue down this and fill in this information right here. Once we have that, we can then come over here to the increase by or the increase buttons. And in this example, we have set $1 for this particular line. And what this is telling ShopCal is when we click on the increase button, if we have $1 in here, that it is to take and add $1 to $3 and replace $4 into the 2 color count, then add $1 to that, and so on. So if we were to change this to like 150 and increase, you're going to see that those numbers automatically filled in and $1.50 added onto each increment across. We can come down each one of those with just this information and this information and putting these increased by dollars in here and just hit the increase buttons, and that will fill in your matrix. The additional print locations is there for if you do not charge the same for a 1 color print, if you're printing it in one location, if you charge a little less or whatever else for a 1 color print in a second location or a third location. This is what this is for. You can have ShopCal automatically fill this in just by putting in a number here. If I want to reduce by 0%, you'll notice that now this matrix matches this site. What this means is that ShopCal will calculate the same amount of money for a print location, the first print location, that it would for any other print location. If we want to give a 3% reduction in cost for additional locations after the first, we just put 3% in there and hit that. We can also do the same thing with the increase by. If we wanted to, we could put that in here and increase by and increase each line that way. The price increase by is if you want to increase the entire matrix. This could be for you build one and you want to, let's say you build a wholesale one and you're going to charge your retail customers 15% more. You just put 15% in here, 15 in there, and hit price increase by, and it will create this. So if we were going to do that, well, in this example, we have a custom, uh, which is what I call for, like, retail, and we wanted to make a wholesale one. We could hit the duplicate button. It would recreate this matrix and everything on these other tabs into a new matrix and be waiting for you to give it a new name. And we would put a name in there. Then we could just, let's say we were going to make it a wholesale and we were going to give a 15% discount. You'd put a minus 15 in here, hit the price increase, and it automatically adjusts everything on this page and reduces it by 15%. There's a lot of tools in here that make building your matrices extremely fast and even maintaining them. The other tab that you're probably going to spend a little time on is what's called the add-on tabs. This is where you're going to put what you charge for add-ons, such as printed names, embroidered names, polybag and folding, screens, if you got a screen fee. And even if you roll your screen fees in, you might want to go ahead and put a screen cost in here, at least at first, to give yourself an idea of what's going on. And then over here you have, like flash charges, butt prints, pocket prints, everything else. The other part of this that's pretty important is the garment markup. And what this area is it's following the same breaks that you had over here in the screen printing. This same breaks, so you don't have to fill it in again. And then you put a percentage. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is this percentage is added to the percentage markup, the base percentage markup in the products catalog. ShopCal comes with that percentage set at 30%. You can adjust that on each item in the product catalog to suit whatever you want. An example of that would be if you want a different base markup for hoodies than you would have for t-shirts. You would set that in the products catalog, not here. What this does is it then adds, based on quantity, an additional percentage to that base markup. So in the products catalog, we have 30% is the default that ShopCal is sent with. And so if we had someone getting 11 shirts, it would fall to this one quantity break, and ShopCal would add an additional 51% to that 30%, and therefore making the markup on that t-shirt 81%. And then it would add the printing and decorating charges to it. Now, one thing I want to go to is we're going to go to the last one in here. This is kind of one that I was doing something up for a customer. They basically only had 10 price breaks that they normally use. And you'll notice in here that we have the 10 price breaks. But then we replicate the 10th one down here on the 14th line. We do that on both matrices. The reason for that is we don't take the last quantity break and put it on the 14th line, then ShopCal is kind of wondering what to do with anything over 200 items in this example here, because it's going, well, what's going on here and what's going on here. By placing that down here, it then lets ShopCal know that anything past 200 charge this. We really don't need to have it here in this example, so we don't really need to duplicate it. We could have just had to the ninth break and then drop down here and put the last one on the 14th line, and that would accomplished the same thing. But it's very important that the 14th price break at least has some values in it. Even if you only have two price breaks in the whole thing, the last one will be on the 14th line. So that's very important to keep in mind. But basically, the flexibility that ShopCal gives you is to go through here and set as many matrices as you want. And then you can assign these over here on the work order. And this will cause ShopCal to actually price the job based on the figures that we have in that particular matrix. Like I said, the flexibility of what you can do with ShopCal is quite immense.